10 gigabytes of RAM and McLaren Special Edition branding. Shiny, shiny red back. Moschino Edition inside. Let's talk about how the OnePlus 6T McLaren Edition compares against the Moschino Honor View 20. Before we get on to what's inside these phones, let's talk about what makes them special editions, and I'm going to whiz through this. On the McLaren Edition OnePlus 6T, you've got that McLaren logo on the bottom. You've also got that really neat coloring. That kind of orange finishes about 2/3 of the way up, gradients out. It's a black body, looks and feels super, super rich, super premium, and I really like it. What I love more than anything about the OnePlus 6T is that in-hand feel. It feels sensational. And the McLaren Edition is no exception. You also have tons, I say tons, of RAM in here, 10 gigabytes and 256 gigabytes of storage. But that isn't it. The McLaren Edition OnePlus 6T also comes with a case which says McLaren on it with a Kevlar finish. Looks very, very slick. It also comes with a book with AR effects when you engage the McLaren Edition Special Edition camera, so you can see McLaren cars in action. It's really a complete package, and it also has faster charging because McLaren is all about speed, and so OnePlus has taken that theme and run with it. So while yeah, it's a special edition phone, it's also a very holistic special edition package that you get when you pick one up. What about the Honor View 20? Well, Honor's got this beautiful red back, and so they can get away with a whole load of stuff because of it. It looks sensational. Really though, all you're getting for the Moschino Edition is the highest capacity version and a bunch of wallpapers. You get this Moschino teddy bear wallpaper, and you also get this other Moschino wallpaper. Now that's not a bad thing, but Moschino has become synonymous with really bulky, kind of fugly iPhone cases in the shape of teddy bears, and that's really cool. A lot of people love that association. So if Honor was to ship their phone with a bulky, kind of fugly Moschino teddy bear case, it would add real value to the mix beyond just wallpapers. Instead, you get the standard transparent Honor case, which is just a little bit of a letdown. Still, what you get in both of these phones is excellence when it comes to hardware. As with the OnePlus 6T, the Moschino Special Edition comes with 256 gigabytes of storage, and while it may not pack 10 gig of RAM, it packs 8 gigs. This red color as well as the Moschino Edition color, and it is striking. I'd say it's bordering on sensational. Like, not only have my little cousins seen this and been like, I want one, my mum has too. It transcends generations to make people just melt. I love it, but hey, it might be divisive. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Right. Now let's talk about some specs. These two are basically the same size, virtually identical thickness, both have 6.4-inch screens, but they pack different screen technology fundamentally. The OnePlus 6T has an OLED screen. It's also got a water droplet notch at the top, and that was futuristic a few months ago, but it's kind of old hat now because it's all about the hole punch cameras now. The hole punch camera notch isn't a notch at all, it's just an emission where the selfie camera is in the top of the display, and that means you have a lot of screen going on here. Irrespective, both have very similar screen to body ratios. Both are wide full HD resolution, similar resolutions with similar pixel densities. The OnePlus 6T will be better in terms of depth, in terms of punch, and that's down to that OLED display, whereas the Moschino Special Edition Honor View 20 will be better when it comes to clarity because LCDs are a little bit sharper than OLEDs if you're packing the same number of pixels, because it's sub-pixels that do the talking here. And of course, on top of that, you've got that slightly more futuristic hole punch camera, which looks super sweet. Right, the screens comparable, different. It's going to come down to your personal preference. As for the hardware, you've got Kirin 980 processor versus a Snapdragon 845, 10 gig of RAM versus 8 gig of RAM. Doubt you'll notice the difference between either. Batteries of 4000 milliamp cell in the Honor View 20, and with a screen that size, it really should last and last. And that's versus a 3700 milliamp battery, which in my tests has easily made it through a full day on the OnePlus 6T. So both looking very strong in those regions. You'll be able to see both have dual cameras, but different camera setups. You've got a primary 48 megapixel sensor on the View 20. This is Sony's new 48 megapixel sensor, and it is stunning. The View 20 paired with the software Huawei's R&D to the nines and pioneered in the P20 and the Mate 20 has like long handheld exposure shooting, and when you pack that pixel count in with that software, you can get incredible HDR results in long exposure shooting. I'm going to quickly jump into the camera for a second to show you. When you jump into photo, you can tap through on the cog, tap through on the resolution, and if you flick it to 48 megapixel AI ultra clarity, it actually takes a long exposure shot, 4 seconds. I'm kind of shaking a little bit because I'm doing some talking while I'm shooting, and once it's processed out, it compensates for handshake to deliver the most off-the-chart level of detail. And because it's so high resolution, you can pinch in on the phone all the way. It looks really great, works well across lighting conditions. You can do this AI ultra clarity for good light. You can flick straight through to night for low light, where you're able to capture loads of detail with even the lowest light around. It's super impressive, and it is more impressive than the low light shooting on the OnePlus 6T. The 6T still is a solid performer for the price. You've got a 16 megapixel camera paired with a 20 megapixel camera. There is no optical zoom on the 6T, but there is some smart software. Like I said, you've got that night shooting mode, and it engages again a long exposure kind of shot to and just grab a little bit more detail, kind of like Google's night sight. It's good, but the Honor View 20 just edges ahead when it comes to the camera. What you've also got is fingerprint scanners though, and that's where the OnePlus 6T wins out when it comes to being super futuristic. The Honor View 20s is around the back, whereas the OnePlus 6Ts is in the screen. So if I tap through there, I can unlock by poking the screen. Both have face recognition as well, so you can prioritize that if you so choose. The user interfaces are really different but similar in the sense that they both run Android 9, but they pack very different looks and feels. The Huawei/Honor UI, Magic UI, is very similar to Emotion UI. You haven't got an applications tray by default, but you can bring one in with a simple navigation to the settings menu. You've also got very customizable settings, and it doesn't look like stock Android. It looks like a Huawei phone through and through. This has some benefits in certain areas. You jump into the display, for example, you can completely overhaul your color mode and temperature, etc. quite easily. Now, what really sets it apart from other phones is how not stock it looks. Even though the OnePlus 6T is very customizable, the fact it looks very stock in the sense that the icons are very nice and flat will make it appeal to a wider audience, especially stock Android fans. When it comes to ports though, the Honor View 20 steps ahead. It has a headphone jack and an infrared blaster, so it doubles up as both a TV remote control and a old school MP3 player, by contrast to the OnePlus 6T, which ditches the headphone jack in favor of USB-C and Bluetooth audio, naturally both of which are available on the Honor View 20. Ultimately, it's going to come down to the brand you prefer. Do you prefer Moschino or do you prefer McLaren? Do you prefer Honor or do you prefer OnePlus? And it's also going to obviously come down to what you prioritize. If you watch a lot of content, I might go for the OnePlus 6T because of that OLED display. If you shoot a lot of content, I might go for the Honor View 20 because of that camera. So that's been me with the OnePlus 6T McLaren edition and the Moschino edition Honor View 20. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you can check back for some more Let's Talk About Tech. Bye.